Hi, this is Kalia from Crafting on the Fly, and today I'm going to show you how to make this fall leaf scarf. So now that it's fall, I'm thinking browns and greens and falling leaves, probably just like anybody else. Even though I'm in Florida, so there aren't as many falling leaves, but there are some. So, and there's a lot of wind, like you can see right there. My palm tree is like moving with all the wind. So I went to the store and I got this beautiful brown or amber or whatever, speckled with some. I just love this color. And it was on sale. There was only this one left, so I can't really do too much with it. But I thought it would be nice to do like a short scarf with two big sort of leaves here on either side, so that it's almost like a bow. And then just getting one in through the other so that it comes out, and then it just like lays here like a little bow. So that's what I'm thinking. Gonna make sort of a leaf shape on each side, and then, like I said, the short one since I only have this one, and let's see how it goes. Here's the first leaf, but let me show you how I made it. I'm just using a regular size 4 yarn, and then a 5 or 5.25 millimeter needle, depending on how your tension is. Start a chain 2, and then go back into that second chain from the hook with 4 single crochets. And then tighten it up. That's the tip of your leaf. Chain 1, turn around, and then do 2 single crochets into that first chain from the hook, and then a single crochet in the next one, and another single crochet into the next one, and then in the end one also 2 single crochets. So it's a total of 6 single crochets. Tighten it up again, and then chain 1, turn it around, and now do a row of single crochets basically, except in the middle one right there you do 2 single crochets. Chain 1, turn it around, and then again 2 single crochets into that first one, single crochet across until the last stitch, and then again 2 single crochets into that last stitch. So trying to increase basically here and there to get that nice full leaf or bow shape. Chain 1, turn it around, and then just single crochets across, chain 1 and turn it around, and another row of single crochets across, and then after that we're basically back. So we had like an increase on each side, a row of increase on each side, then an increase just in the center, then again on each side, and then 2 rows of just single crochets. And now we're back to doing the increase of 2 single crochets on each side. So we're repeating that pattern that we just did before. Then single crochets across, and then into the last one just do 2 double crochets again. Turn it around, chain 1 or chain 1, turn it around, and then a row of single crochets across, except of in the center, somewhere in the center, do two single crochets in one of the stitches. I'm gonna put it right in here and then just go across with the single crochets again. And then you get more of a fat leaf. Chain one, turn, and then next going to be those rows again of an increase with the two single crochets in the first stitch, single crochets across, and then two single crochets into that last stitch. Right there, chain one, turn it around, and now we're just going to do single crochets across for the next 4 rows. And here we are. I did those 4 rows of single crochets. Now you can see how it's increased, and then the 4 rows, and now we're going to decrease on the other hand. So for that, just yarn over from the first row, go in and yarn over again. You have 3 stitches or 3 loops on the yarn, and then just go through that, and that's your decrease. Then just go across with single crochets and also decrease on the other side. So once we get there, it's basically just a second to last stitch, so one before, I have to undo that. So here you have 2 stitches, so you get 1 yarn in and then into the next one. You have 3 again on loop, go through that, and that's your decrease, chain 1, and then the same on the next one as well. Pull up those 2 loops, you have 3 on the hook, and just go through all 3. And that's also the second row of decreases, and again single crochets across. And then once we're on the other side, we're doing another decrease on the other side as well. So the second to last stitch, that's when you start pulling up a loop right there, and then pulling up a loop on the next stitch and going through all 3. Chain 1, turn around, and yet another row of decreases. So it's 3 rows in a row of the decrease on the first and the last stitches. And then we're almost done with that leaf shape. There you go. Looks really cute. And then now we're gonna make it chain 1 and then just do 1 row of single crochets across to get it started into that ripped area, to actually pull it through and have sort of like the knot of the bow, or where the 2 halves of the scarf connect, like the front and the back. So chain 2 here, because now it's going to be a row of double crochets into the top of each single crochet there. That all across. There you go. And now again chain 2, turn it around, and we're going to do a front loop, actually front loop double crochet, so right into that first one, and then the second one, yarn over, go into or around that double crochet, and then double crochet into that. Those always like seem intimidating, but it's actually not that hard to do. And it's fun to just go around there. And that's a front loop double crochet, and then when we turn around we have to do the back loop. Now that's a little bit more challenging, but I'm sure you're gonna get it. And also doing that right there, and on that last one where we just had 2 chains going up. That gives you that nice pattern on the front, and then the back is like that. Again, chain 2, turn it around, and now we have to do it in the back loop so that it still looks like it's all in the front loop. So right from there, you don't go like this with the front like you normally would. We go from the back, just like this. And then 2 and 2, yarn over, and again, go in from the back, pull up that loop, and then just go through. So this way it looks the same. And then that all across. And then, well, you still do that second to last one, and then with the last one, you do both like the 2 chain that went up and that double crochet all together. Looks like that, turn it around. Now you have 2 nice rows of the front loop, and then you do 1 more row now of the front loop double crochets right into that first one, and then all the way across again. And remember, with the last one, you're doing both together, that back loop 1 and the 2 chain. Chain 1, and that's gonna be that part, and then you're just gonna do another single crochet row of single crochets across. And I'm almost ready to start the scarf part. Chain 1, turn it around, and now do 2 single crochets into each stitch from before to increase for the width of the scarf. And here we are. Now you can just do a single crochets all across, back and forth, just as long as you would like to have it to cover your neck. You can make it longer if you want to wrap it double or whatever. So just keep going until you have the length that you would like to have for your scarf. And I'm enjoying the autumn sun to finish my scarf for the length of it. Loves just sitting outside and crocheting. That's like my me time. So doing that right here. And I got a lot done already. So this is it. I have this part, and then just checking every time if I have it already long enough by just placing it on and holding it around, but I still have to go. But here it's done. So now I just need a second piece for the other side. That's just like that. I'm gonna attach on the other side. So I'm just gonna do the decrease here. So before we did like 2 single crochets into each um, stitch to increase it, and now we're just going to do the same one to decrease it, so a decrease into each stitch, and then the chain 2 and double crochets along, because now I have to recreate it from going from the opposite side, but only a little in between part. So that across, and then chain 2 and do the back loop double crochet across, so that we have it facing the same way. There's going to be a row of back loops and front loop and then back loop again. So that we have it really here going the same way, that it's like that, just checking on it. The front loop one again. So the regular one, back loop, a front loop, and now one more row of back loop. Across, here we are. Now that that part is complete, we're gonna do a round of single crochets all along the edge of the entire scarf so far, just to give it a nice finished edge. So just starting right along the edge with the front and back loops, so it's a little bit hard to get in there. Just going along there with, I did about 2 single crochets per back loop stitch there, or front loop, just to give it a nice edge right here, all along there. And like I said, just go all the way around. And the only thing that I did was I did 2 I also made another leaf piece, but only all the way to that area with the double crochet, because we're going to attach that to the other half. But also here I'm going to do single crochets all the way around to give it that same finished edge. And then what I did actually at the tip of the leaf, and so that was the long scarf part, is I tighten that up, and also to hold that is just do 1, 2 chains and then another single crochet into that same top stitch, just to give it a little pointy edge there. Like I said, I also did that for the big part of the scarf, and then I just held the yarn from the start right in there, so all the way around, And there it is. So I have another piece like that, and now we're just gonna have to attach the two pieces. So I have it like here. You see how that pointy tip is really nice. And now we're gonna attach these two with the long tails that we left on both sides. So one is gonna just be sewn onto this edge, and then the other one is gonna sewn onto here. That leaves the little opening to pull the scarf through. So you're just gonna whip stitch that together, whichever way you're comfortable with. I'm just gonna go back and forth like that. Just make sure to line up the stitches so that you don't end up with an uneven edge. And also keep it really along one row. Right there, then do the same on the other side. And then this is the finished scarf, which is pulling it right through. And then it forms these nice little leaves or a bow shape, whichever you prefer. It's in a different color and it probably would be a nice fun bow. And it's really easy to put on, pulling it through, and you're ready to go. Really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and like it if you're happy with it.